Welcome back to PandaAudioBooks. The bells of victory have faded, and the great void is finally at peace. But for a man who has reached the peak, the only question left is, what lies beyond the sky? In our last episode, Jian Wushuang defeated the divine sovereign and declined the throne of the heavens, choosing instead to live as a wanderer. Today, we step into the unknown. Chapters 301 through 305 begin the Eternal Darkness arc. While exploring the edges of the universe with his father, Wushuang discovers a void crack that doesn't lead to another realm, but to a vast, silent graveyard of ancient civilizations. There, he encounters a star traveler, a messenger from a distant galaxy who reveals that the divine sovereign was merely a governor of a tiny outpost. The true power players, the Eternal Lords, have noticed the sovereign's fall and are coming to investigate the anomalous sword intent that killed him. The universe just got a whole lot bigger. Chapter 301 starts right now. Chapter 301, A Fierce Fight. The onlookers were stunned. Too strong. The Lord of Skywave Prefecture is terrifying. I feel like his casual punch could kill me. Swordsman is also strong. He was able to fight him to a draw for now. Everyone had gleaming eyes as they stared at the two. They knew both sides had just made tentative attacks, so they had not used their full strength. Nobody noticed the two figures that were standing in the air near the battlefield and watching the fight. They were Lung Rushuang and her sister. Big brother is quite powerful, her sister said. Powerful? Lung Rushuang replied with cold eyes. For someone that is only in the profound Yang Void realm, his battle strength is good. Compared to others' great acclaim, Lung Rushuang thought Jian Wushuang's performance was just good. While standing above the area, Jian Wushuang and the Lord of Skywave Prefecture both stabilized their body and looked at each other. Good. No wonder you dared to challenge me. You do indeed possess some strength. Lord of Skywave Prefecture stared at Jian Wushuang in the same way he would look at his prey. As a lord of a prefecture, you haven't shown your full strength, right? Show it, or it will be boring for me to attack you, Jian Wushuang said casually. Lord of Skywave Prefecture had shown his scary strength in the fierce confrontation. He had comprehended origin of all beasts and origin of raging fire, reaching the peak of momentum. He also could activate 90% of origin of heaven and earth. The Lord of Skywave Prefecture was not weaker than him in the enlightenment of the origin. His attack was violent and strong, much stronger than an ordinary half-saint expert. It was no wonder that he had battle strength of the saint realm and was qualified to be the lord of a prefecture. Jian Wushuang clearly understood that the Lord of Skywave Prefecture had not displayed his real battle strength and that he lived up to his rank on the Blood Moon list. I haven't used my full strength in a long time because no one could make me. But you're qualified, the Lord of Skywave Prefecture said with a faint smile. He took out a pair of red gloves, which were full of scary mysterious cracks, and slowly put on them. The onlookers could not help but exclaim. The Lord of Skywave Prefecture had fought against Jian Wushuang using his fist, but now he was going to use his gloves. This pair of gloves was his weapon. The Lord of Skywave Prefecture is going to use his full strength. I wonder how strong he is. All the experts looked at him with an expectant look. Jian Wushuang shot a glance at the gloves. He remained calm, but in fact, he was a bit worried. Little guy, I hope you can hold on for a while, that way I can have more fun, the Lord of Skywave Prefecture said and grinned. Come on. Jian Wushuang had prepared himself. Boom. Then tracks of flames suddenly appeared in the air, as if the whole sky became a sea of fire. The Lord of Skywave Prefecture looked like flaming war god that was standing in fire. He overlooked the world with his twinkling eyes and roaring killing intent. As he clenched his right fist, the flames directly moved toward his fist at an amazing speed. In an instant, the sea of fire completely gathered in his fist. Go to hell! The Lord of Skywave Prefecture shouted. With a single stride, he appeared in front of Jian Wushuang and immediately threw the powerful punch towards Jian Wushuang's head. In the blink of an eye, the sky split and the ground cracked, as if a dormant volcano had suddenly erupted after billions of years. Jian Wushuang felt as if the furious power could burn the whole world. He is stronger than me in origin of raging fire. Jian Wushuang thought with a serious look. He knew that this punch was 1.5 times stronger than the previous one. As for their strength, Even a 10% improvement meant a lot, but the Lord of Skywave Prefecture had improved his power by 50%. If Jian Wushuang still performed the 8th move of Selfless Sword technique, he would be defeated without a doubt. Jian Wushuang was a bit surprised, but he did not panic. As the furious power swept towards him, his scary killing intent suddenly erupted. The ice-cold killing intent chilled the blood of countless experts. All the spectators looked toward Jian Wushuang in awe. The killing intent was too terrifying. As soon as Jian Wushuang lifted the triple-kill sword that was full of roaring killing intent, a towering phantom giant suddenly emerged. The current phantom giant was so condensed that it almost seemed real. As Jian Wushuang swung his sword, the giant also wielded the long sword and launched an attack. Hiss! The stroke seemed to split the sky, leaving a huge crack behind. All the onlookers were stunned by the terrifying stroke. The two powerful forces collided head-on under everyone's gaze. Bang! It sounded like thunder on a sunny day, pricking their ears as they covered them instinctively. Above the area, a series of crashes were heard right before their aftermath struck the ground. Bang! 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 As the earth shook, more and more holes and sword scars suddenly appeared on the ground, as if the area was being destroyed. In the center of the battlefield, the red-faced Jian Wushuang stared at his opponent and his opponent stared back. Slaughter origin? The Lord of Skywave Prefecture's face fell as he said, "You used the scary slaughter sword art. It seems that I looked down on you. You're a bit stronger than I expected." Just a bit stronger? A hint of coldness flashed in Jian Wushuang's eyes. Suddenly, a strong tide of sword essence swept out and covered an area within a 100-meter radius. The Lord of Skywave Prefecture was stuck in the tide. Then the tide of sword essence violently lashed against the Lord of Skywave Prefecture. Chapter 302, Sword Sea. Hum. The Lord of Skywave Prefecture's expression changed when he felt the tides of sword essence somewhat hindering his movements. Hum, a special trick. It looks like domain, but it is not the real thing, the Lord of Skywave Prefecture said coldly. He suddenly withdrew his hand. The next moment, a magic red light gleamed in his hand. The flash of light looked violent and blazing. The moment Jian Wushuang saw it, his heart could not help but skip a beat. The Lord of Skywave Prefecture held the flash of red light and then launched a powerful punch toward Jian Wushuang. Dragon Howl! He shouted with a frightening look. Dragon Roar, his strongest skill, was displayed. The huge punch looked ordinary, but when it appeared, flames suddenly filled the sky, converging into a gigantic flaming dragon. With an incredible howl, it rushed toward Jian Wushuang. In an instant, the weather changed and the whole area trembled. Jian Wushuang felt the strength of this flaming dragon, but managed to keep a cool expression. Even ordinary experts of the Saint Realm who saw this powerful move would take it seriously, as did Jian Wushuang. Try my next stroke. Jian Wushuang spoke. He coldly stared at his opponent, with a roaring killing intent. He slowly slashed out with the triple-kill sword, and the phantom giant behind him also attacked. The moment the stroke lashed out, the whole world became dead still. All the onlookers held their breath. Everyone stared at the stroke and shivered in fright. Although they knew they were not the target, they still felt as if they would be killed by it. Quite a few experts were petrified by this stroke. The second move of the blood-emptying technique, Sky-Shaking Stroke. As a superior third-grade sword skill, the blood-emptying technique only had 3 moves, but all the moves were very powerful. The first move of the blood-emptying technique, All-Smashing Stroke, was powerful enough. The second move could release more power than the first one. The stroke could destroy the whole world and exterminate everything. Jian Wushuang had just mastered the second move and had not used it against anyone yet. The Lord of Skywave Prefecture was the first opponent Jian Wushuang attacked using this move. The huge sword shadow collided with the flaming dragon, but the head-on collision did not result in a loud sound. The two forces quietly weakened each other at breakneck speed. Suddenly, a huge fireball moved toward Jian Wushuang, burning his upper clothes and even beginning to burn parts of his upper body. Fortunately, he triggered his spiritual power to extinguish the fire, or he would have been burnt to ash. In fact, the upper part of his body was blackened by the fire, with some parts even being scorched. What a terrifying attack! Jian Wushuang looked at his blackened body and sighed in private. Then he sneered. He might not be in good condition after receiving my strike. Jian Wushuang looked up, towards the Lord of Skywave Prefecture. The latter widened his eyes and spat out a mouthful of blood. The onlookers could not help but exclaim. He spat blood. The Lord of Skywave Prefecture spat blood? One spat blood, the other was burned. What a bitter fight! It was bitter indeed. Many people originally thought the Lord of Skywave Prefecture would win, as he had been famous for longer and should be stronger than the young man. However, now, no one dared to think this way. The Lord of Skywave Prefecture wiped off the blood on the corner of his mouth, breathing deeply as he looked toward Jian Wushuang. I took it lightly. I didn't expect your stroke to be full of killing intent. My carelessness gave you an opportunity. I won't let it happen again. Really? Jian Wushuang asked while smiling slightly. Let's fight. The Lord of Skywave Prefecture snarled and launched another attack. With a roaring killing intent, Jian Wushuang prepared to block it. The final battle continued. Bang! 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 The crashes shook the area and the frightening power spread to the ground below. The land changed so much that it was no longer recognizable, yet Jian Wushuang and the Lord of Skywave Prefecture were still locked in a fierce battle. Both of them tried their best, but they could only draw against each other. The onlookers enjoyed it. The tide-like sword realm that Jian Wushuang emanated started to change without any signs. The tide-like sword essence became more turbulent, spreading more widely. After a while, the realm of sword essence had pervaded a radius of more than 1,000 meters. In the sword realm, endless sword essence swept toward the Lord of Skywave Prefecture like a tsunami. What? The Lord of Skywave Prefecture's face changed. Jian Wushuang was ecstatic at this moment. The third move of the Sword Realm, Sword C. Jian Wushuang mastered the second move of the Sword Realm a year ago. Then he had studied the third move, which was quite profound. Though he spent a year practicing it, he still felt he had not fully grasped it. He did not expect to comprehend Sword C during this fierce fight. Yet, it happened so easily. Experts of the Deluo Heaven sect would go crazy in envy if they knew. After all, the Sword Realm came from the Deluo Heaven sect. A large number of experts had studied this sword skill in the history of the Deluo Heaven sect, but none of them had mastered the third move, Sword C. Jian Wushuang had only practiced the Sword Realm for about a year, but now he had mastered Sword C. It was a big surprise for him. Jian Wushuang was somewhat stunned. After coming to his senses, he looked toward the Lord of Skywave Prefecture and spoke in a cold voice. Lord of Skywave Prefecture, it seems that you will die today, Jian Wushuang said. Chapter 303, New Lord of Skywave Prefecture. Lord of Skywave Prefecture, it seems that you will die today, Jian Wushuang said. His voice resounded through the area, then the sea of sword essence swept out toward the Lord of Skywave Prefecture. What's this? The Lord of Skywave Prefecture's expression changed. While he was in the realm of sword essence, he realized he was being suppressed and could only release 70% of his strength. In other words, 30% of his strength was being suppressed by the realm of sword essence. Even the top experts who mastered a domain could only suppress half of my strength. This guy's realm of sword essence is almost as strong as a domain. The Lord of Skywave Prefecture was shocked. Sword Tide had suppressed 10% of his strength. Now it increased to 30%. Not good. The Lord of Skywave Prefecture saw Jian Wushuang rushing over. When 10% of his strength was suppressed, he was barely able to force a draw with Jian Wushuang. Now, with 30% of his strength suppressed, he would not be Jian Wushuang's match. The Sword Realm restricted the Lord of Skywave Prefecture's movement. Using his roaring killing intent, Jian Wushuang struck out with his long sword. It's over. The Lord of Skywave Prefecture thought, but he was unwilling to be killed like this. Even if I will die, I won't make it easy on you, the Lord of Skywave Prefecture thundered. He immediately ate several elixirs that could improve his strength in a short time. These were ordinary elixirs, so the increase in his strength was limited, but he did not care. Now, he pounced toward Jian Wushuang, like a mad, hungry wolf. Useless. Jian Wushuang swung his sword and easily blocked it. After an all-out attack, the Lord of Skywave Prefecture lost his morale, so Jian Wushuang prepared to end this fight. Go to hell. The continuous streaks of sword light pierced through the area, leaving 3 holes on the Lord of Skywave Prefecture's body. The strong man still widened his eyes while falling. Finally, he is dead? Jian Wushuang heaved a sigh of relief. The Lord of Skywave Prefecture was stronger than he thought. If he had not comprehended Sword C during the fight, it would have been much harder for him to kill such a strong person. Regarding comprehension of the origin, sword skill, and magic weapons, I am much stronger than him, but my cultivation is too low. Jian Wushuang sighed in private. The time he spent cultivating wasn't long. With the help of heavenly creation skill and opportunities from the ancestors' land, he had managed to reach the profound Yang Void Realm at his age, which was considered incredible. Jian Wushuang stood by the Lord of Skywave Prefecture's body. He waved his hand, took off the loser's interspatial ring, and looked around. The whole area became calm, and the spectators were petrified. When Jian Wushuang began to move toward Heartless City, a burst of exclamation rose from the crowd. He is dead. The Lord of Skywave Prefecture was killed. Swordsman killed the Lord of Skywave Prefecture? It caused a sensation. All the experts were astonished. Man Yang, one of the overlords in the Tang dynasty, had been killed. The news would spread through the whole empire. Very good. Lung Rushuang looked toward Jian Wushuang with a hint of surprise in her eyes. I said he would win this fight, the scruffy girl said with a smile. Okay, now it's over. Shall we go back? Lung Rushuang asked. Nope, the scruffy girl replied while shaking her head. I need to repay him for his help. Repay him? Lung Rushuang said. He is strong enough in the Tang dynasty. As long as he doesn't piss off someone from the top 10 of the Blood Moon list, he won't get into any trouble, so you won't have any chance to repay him. No. I won't go back with you unless I repay him, the scruffy girl said stubbornly. Lung Rushuang thought for a while and said in a low voice, Okay, I will give you 5 days. Then you must return with me. No excuses. Deal. The scruffy girl nodded without hesitation. You stay here. I will go play with him. Then the girl moved toward Heartless City. In the hall of the Heartless Sect, the master of Heartless Sect and the other protectors were congratulating Jian Wushuang. Ha ha, Protector Swordsman. Oh, no. We should call you Lord. Right, Lord. That fight startled all of us. A peerless expert, who had battle strength equal to the Saint Realm, had been killed by Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang wore a faint smile. He challenged the Lord of Skywave Prefecture and killed him. From now on, he would become the new Lord of Skywave Prefecture. This was the rule of the Tang dynasty. As the Lord of Skywave Prefecture, he could be considered an overlord in the Tang dynasty. Jian Wushuang suddenly raised his head and looked toward the doorway, where a little head popped out. Who is that? The master of Heartless Sect and the other protectors perceived it, and looked towards the doorway. When they saw the scruffy girl of 15 or 16 years old, they had an odd look on their faces. The scruffy girl ignored their attention and stepped inside. After standing beside Jian Wushuang, she winked at him, without saying a word. Jian Wushuang's face changed. He did not have a good impression on the scruffy girl and her elder sister. If not for the scruffy girl, he would not have fought with the Lord of Skywave Prefecture so soon. Why did you come here? Where is your elder sister? Jian Wushuang asked, frowning. I came here for you. I want to play with you. As for my sister, she has her things to do, the scruffy girl replied innocently. Big brother, my name is Lung Rushua. Chapter 304, Tan Feng. Jian Wushuang looked at the childish girl and said seriously, I don't have time to play with you. Then I can play by myself, the scruffy girl said and snorted. Then she haughtily walked toward the doorway, while throwing a meaningful glance at the other experts. The master of Heartless Sect and the other protectors all had a surprised look on their faces. After the girl left, the master of Heartless Sect could not help but ask, Swordsman, is she your friend? Friend? No, she isn't. Jian Wushuang shook his head. He had met the girl and her elder sister once, so he did not count them as his friends. The girl has a powerful background. Even I'm afraid of the person behind her, Jian Wushuang said. Powerful background? The master of Heartless Sect was surprised. Master, if the girl wants to stay here for several days, please let her do whatever she wants. As long as she doesn't go overboard, just leave her alone, Jian Wushuang said. Upon hearing this, the master of Heartless Sect wore a wry smile. Obviously, they had to treat this girl like a young master. The next day, the renewed Blood Moon list showed that Jian Wushuang ranked 21st, taking the place of Man Yang. The news shook the Tang dynasty. The experts on the list often challenged each other, so their rankings often changed. That was why the Blood Moon list was renewed every day. The rankings on the list often fluctuated between the half-saint experts and experts at the peak of the Yang Void Realm. Top 30 of the list consisted of 26 experts of the Saint Realm and 4 experts who had the battle strength of the Saint Realm. They rarely fought with each other, so their rankings seldom changed. Every change would arouse the attention of the public. Not only many experts of the Tang dynasty, but the old sects of the Nanyang continent kept an eye out for this list. When it was renewed, the old sects immediately knew that Swordsman ranked 21st. Holy Emperor Palace also received the news. Swordsman is only in the profound Yang Void Realm, but he killed the Lord of Skywave Prefecture in a face-to-face battle. He is young and adept at sword principle. Our Holy Emperor Palace has offered a reward for killing Jian Wushuang. When he was in the initial Yang Void Realm, he fought 2 experts of the Saint Realm. Moreover, he is good at sword principle. This swordsman from the Tang dynasty is probably Jian Wushuang. We finally found him. Go kill him right now. Holy Emperor Palace issued an order. The next day, 2 figures appeared outside of Heartless City. One of them was a fat middle-aged man. He wore a mild smile while standing beside the other respectfully. Sir Tan Feng, Heartless City is not far from us. Our target is there right now, the middle-aged man said reverently. A bald elder stood there with a cold look. He did not emanate any aura as if he was air. Divine transcendence. This bald elder was a true expert of the Saint Realm. Anyone that heard his name would be shocked. Tan Feng ranked 9th on the Blood Moon list. He reached divine transcendence 100 years ago and had already mastered a domain. Swordsman poses a threat to our Holy Emperor Palace. Sir, he is powerful, so you need to use your full strength to kill him. Don't give him any chances, the middle-aged man added. It's not a big deal to kill him. Tan Feng narrowed his eyes and nodded. I care more about the thing Holy Emperor Palace promised to give me after killing him. Don't worry, sir. As long as you kill him, our palace will offer you the superior 3rd-grade magic weapon and the superior 2nd-grade origin manual you want, the middle-aged man replied with a smile, but he was somewhat reluctant in his heart. There had been friction between the Holy Emperor Palace and the alchemy school. The latter kept an eye on the top experts from the palace, so they could not kill Jian Wushuang by themselves and had to turn to Tan Feng for help. After all, the superior 3rd-grade magic weapon and superior 2nd-grade origin manual were also important for Holy Emperor Palace. Since it's decided, let's go, Tan Feng said. They moved fast and immediately arrived in the area over Heartless City. This is the lair of the Heartless Sect. Swordsman is there. Sir, let's do it. The middle-aged man spoke. Tan Feng nodded. Just as he was about to descend, he suddenly stopped. That is. A flash of light caught his attention. He instantly saw a beautiful figure standing above a tower. The figure also coldly looked in his direction. Sir, what's wrong? The middle-aged young man asked. Wait a minute. Tan Feng frowned and replied seriously, I didn't expect her to be here. She? The middle-aged man also frowned. Tan Feng's expression became a bit unnatural. She was Lang Rushuang. She was powerful and ranked 1st on the Blood Moon list. Tan Feng did not know Lang Rushuang's real strength, because he did not have the guts to fight with her. Sir, hurry up, the middle-aged young man said. Shut up. Tan Feng scolded him and thought. She came here for Swordsman? Does she have some kind of relationship with him? If I kill him, will I be courting death? Tan Feng was not sure why Leng Rushuang came here, so he did not dare to take action. Leng Rushuang was standing there, like the ninth heaven goddess. Then she looked away from the bald elder. An expert of the Saint Realm came for Swordsman? Leng Rushuang murmured. Then she moved toward Jian Wushuang's courtyard. At this moment, Jian Wushuang was practicing his swordsmanship, while Leng Rushua was sitting on the stone stool and eating a chicken leg, with her mouth covered in grease. Whoosh! A gust of wind blew and the whole yard immediately became cold. Then, Leng Rushuang appeared before their eyes. Chapter 305. Refuse. Jian Wushuang stopped and looked at Leng Rushuang. Elder sister, why are you here? Leng Rushua asked while putting down the chicken leg. Leng Rushuang ignored her sister and looked toward Jian Wushuang. An expert of the Saint Realm has arrived. He should be here for you. An expert of the Saint Realm? Here for me? Jian Wushuang frowned. Holy Emperor Palace? Jian Wushuang realized that Holy Emperor Palace would find him once he became famous in the Tang dynasty. After all, a sword principal warrior who was in the profound Yang Void Realm and could kill Man Yang could only be him. But he did not expect that Holy Emperor Palace would move so quickly. The day after the news that he ranked 21st spread, experts from Holy Emperor Palace had arrived to kill him. I know the Saint Realm expert. He is Tan Feng and ranks 9th on the list. He has also mastered domain. If he wants to kill you, you won't have any chance to escape, Leng Rushuang said coldly. Tan Feng? Jian Wushuang recalled the introduction about Tan Feng in the Blood Moon list. His face grew solemn. Then he looked toward Leng Rushuang and asked, what do you want to say? My sister likes playing around, but she's too weak to protect herself. If I let her do whatever she wants in the Tang dynasty, I'm afraid that she would be chased by someone like last time, so I'd like to hire a guard for her, Leng Rushuang answered. You want me to be her guard? Jian Wushuang said. Your strength is good. I think you're qualified for this job. As long as you promise to be my sister's guard for 5 years, I will help you kill the expert of the Saint Realm. Moreover, I can ensure that no one dares to challenge you. What do you think? Leng Rushuang's voice was still cold. Upon hearing this, Leng Rushua widened her eyes, expectantly staring at Jian Wushuang. Sorry, I refuse. Jian Wushuang shook his head without even thinking. He disliked hiding under someone else's shelter. Therefore, even though Wang Yuan invited him, he did not go to the alchemy school, let alone stay with Leng Rushua for 5 years. Even if it only took him 5 days or a few months, Jian Wushuang would not accept it. In that case, you will have to find your own way of dealing with Tan Feng, Leng Rushuang said. I never depend on anyone, Jian Wushuang replied coldly. Then he walked out of the yard. 2 people had been waiting there. Tai Shan, Mo Ying. Jian Wushuang spoke seriously. I'm leaving here. If there is an opportunity, I'll come back. Please help me tell the other protectors. Then Jian Wushuang immediately left. Tai Shan and Mo Ying were surprised and could not figure out why their first protector left so abruptly. Tan Feng immediately perceived that Jian Wushuang was trying to escape. He wants to run away, Tan Feng said in a low voice. Sir, what are you waiting for? Go kill him. The middle-aged young man spoke anxiously. No, wait a moment. Tan Feng shook his head and stared in the direction of Leng Rushuang. She should know that I came for Swordsman. I don't know what relationship Swordsman has with her. If I try to kill Swordsman, will she stop me? Tan Feng still had some concerns, because Leng Rushuang was much more powerful than him. At this moment, he saw Leng Rushuang leave with Leng Rushua. Tan Feng raised his brows. She didn't come to stop me or give me any warnings. That means she won't protect Swordsman. Tan Feng was immediately relieved. Then a blast of powerful aura spread out. Swordsman, I'm here. Where are you going? Do you think you can run away? A cold, loud voice resounded through the sky. Tan Feng suddenly rushed towards Jian Wushuang. The voice shook the whole city. Who wants to kill Protector Swordsman? Many experts of the Heartless sect shot up into the sky. They immediately saw 2 figures moving in the distant sky. One was Swordsman, and the other was a bald elder, who was exuding a roaring aura. The Saint Realm. A real Saint Realm expert. He is Tan Feng, ranked 9th on the Blood Moon list. He is hunting Swordsman? A burst of exclamations went up throughout the city. What's going on? The master of Heartless Sect and the other protectors gathered and watched it with a terrible look on their faces. He just killed Man Yang, now Tan Feng came. Tan Feng is much stronger than Man Yang. The experts of Heartless Sect were anxious for Jian Wushuang, but they did not have the strength to step in, so they could do nothing. Now, only Leng Rushuang could help Jian Wushuang, but she did not want to. Elder sister, you really won't save Big Brother? Leng Rushue asked pathetically. He didn't want my help. Why should I save him? Leng Rushuang replied coldly. But Big Brother helped me. I owe him a favor, Leng Rushue continued. That's you, not me, Leng Rushuang said. Elder sister. Leng Rushue got angry. Fine, don't worry about him. Leng Rushuang glanced at her sister and said, I know he is not ordinary. Tan Feng might be stronger than him, but it isn't easy for him to kill your big brother. Oh. Leng Rushue calmed herself down. Jian Wushuang ran quickly, so he immediately reached outside of the city. He also perceived Tan Feng behind him. The bald elder moved forward, emanating waves which spread out over a radius of hundreds of meters. Domain. Jian Wushuang was shocked. As for origin enlightenment, momentum and domain were totally different. An expert who achieved domain would be much more powerful than the one who only reached momentum. His father, Jian Nantian, only had half saint cultivation, but he could kill an expert of the saint realm with one stroke because he had reached domain and controlled it very well. And with the arrival of the first Eternal Scout, we conclude Chapter 305. Wushuang thought he was at the peak of cultivation, but he just realized he's a big fish in a very small pond. The Scout's armor alone was made of collapsed suns, and Wushuang's strongest strike only left a scratch. The peaceful retirement he promised his father is already in jeopardy. The Eternal Lords are coming, and they don't want to rule the Great Void, they want to erase it as a failed experiment. Join us next time for chapters 306 through 310, as Wushuang begins the hunt for the primordial spark to upgrade his sword Dao for a galactic war. Thank you for listening to Panda Audiobooks. If you're excited for this massive jump in power scaling, hit that like button and subscribe. The real legend starts here.